Hello, today we've got a video. And before we start, I've got to reveal two things. First up, we've added Antarctica. There's no outline. Couldn't be bothered to draw that twice. But yeah, we've got Antarctica. Which, can be explored, Probably won't be explored for a while, but, whatever. It's just the fact that we've got Antarctica. We've got a stability map. But anyway, so we've got a stability map. Green means there's barely any internal issues. Bro, I did not do a very good job of finishing this. Anyway, while I fix it, I'll talk to you. And yeah, so basically, the light green, the lightest green, like the lime color, means that you have barely any issues, and basically everyone inside your country doesn't really want anything else to happen. They're happy as it is. But then if we move on to this kind of green, like a bluey green, you see that there's the fair few issues. Oh yeah, I fixed some of the borders. I'll have to fix it on the map as well. But there's the fair few issues, but all around, it's still pretty good. Yellow, we have still the minority, but a lot of people, nearly half of your people, kind of don't like how it is. So we've got the Middle East, Egypt. Egypt doesn't like it under Ottoman rule, Italy. And then red, which is only the Ottoman Empire at the moment, is on the verge of collapse. You'd probably do something to fix that. But yeah, now I'll just cut once I've fixed this map. Anyway, now that I've fixed that, and I'm not going to bother even trying to fix anything else of it, this is how I'm going to keep it. So this is the stability map. We're going to see that, alright, we don't need a stability map anymore. So more of the Nordics, is discovered. And eventually, after a bit, we see that all of this region is discovered. So there's a charter made between Turkey and Denmark, where they split the land. You see that Denmark gets kind of southern Norway, southern Sweden is handed over to the Ottoman Empire, along with most of the Baltics, all this land down here, whatever. And the rest of the land, alright, so I've combined blue and brown here to get a disgusting colour, but nevertheless, the colour we are going to be using. And we are going to concede all of this. Concede, I don't know why I used that word always. But yeah, we also, if you're wondering how they discovered Illinois, they just kind of went around the sides on a boat, and eventually with the notch it made, went into the land. Same with kind of Sweden, they just went in after going around the Gulf, whatever. But yeah, so we see that Nordia is formed, and yet again is a disgusting colour, but it is formed nevertheless. And if we go to the ideology map, seeing as both nations are a monarchy, we are going to see that Nordia also becomes a monarchy. If we go on the province map, well, we need a capital. This capital is going to be right here, on the border of the two countries. And so yes, you can see what land they've got. So yeah, that's what happens. But anyway, next we're going to see that more ideological changes, as West India convinces East India to become a monarchy instead of an aristocracy, like the Green Team. Because, why have multiple people when you can just have one? And they also convince Thailand to make this change, but these guys are already monarchs, so it doesn't really change. And final nation we're going to see become a monarch, despite not really wanting to and being an opposition to the Ottomans. We're going to see that Kokistan actually becomes a monarch just because they kind of want to. I don't really need to give a reason. You can make up a reason. And finally, we also see that's a bit off. No, sure. We also see that Greece becomes a publicist monarch, just like Iberia. So, congrats, Greece, I guess. But, we see that the rest of, India over here is discovered by, the two Indian groups here. And it is split up, not necessarily evenly, but by, who discovered what land. And, West India doesn't really mind. Because, they should have explored more. I did give them capitals. Also, if you go on the province map, these guys have capitals. Because, why not? I haven't added the provinces for them yet, even though I probably should have. But, whatever. I'll add them after this episode, whatever. So, yeah, that happens. And next we see that, this French Indochina area starts to get explored as the Thai team, the Thailand team, starts to explore upwards. This is not French Indochina, but I'm going to get onto that. Explores their trail they went, but also starts to explore downwards. And, they want to become a long boy nation, so they only take that. While, on the other hand, China here, explores a bit of this, routes that people have taken, that, this Chinese team has taken. I think they took the other route. So, they explore south of that route. And this is where they make it into French Indochina and into Vietnam. And they explore the whole of Vietnam. And, because this Chinese group are nice people, they're going to take all of the north. Because why not? Well, they can do whatever they want with this land. But they're going to release the south into its own nation. There's going to be this, dark orange, which doesn't match to that. No, doesn't match to that. Yep. It's good to go. We have this orange being the one that is, released, and this is the Vietnamese team. Because, they're in Vietnam. And we see that this northern China area, one is going to explore down to, this river, connect a bit up with this path, but also kind of connect up with the Korean path, and kind of explore all of that. And, these are, the warmonger China, this is, the peaceful one, this is the warmonger one. But they're both monarchs. Just this one's a warmonger monarch, this one's peaceful, isolationist, I guess. But yeah, so they take all of that. And the Korean peninsula is, fully explored by, Korea. As they explore up to here, which is past the Korean peninsula. And then also up to there, which is also past the Korean peninsula. But then also the rest of South Korea. Not the island yet, but, they can explore with that. And they claim all. Because, why not? They can, so they will. And Turkey breaks out into, a civil war here in Africa. Which, I'm just going to make a colour. This is going to be this, purple bluish team. It's kind of hard to see against the bluish team, but trust me, they're there. And they break out all across like Algeria and Tunisia. And they start making big claims as the Ottoman army like struggles to get there. They eventually like manage to get to Sardinia, Malta. They get that, and Italy is going to join in on this war, just to get like the peninsula back. Except they don't get any of Italy. No, Sicily. And why is this still here? But yeah, eventually the pushback does start by the blue team. But seeing that they're occupied in a civil war, like, some other teams are going to join. And the first one is going to be the red team, as they're tired of being controlled by the blue team. So they're going to start... Oh yeah, I should probably turn on the province map. No. They start to invade this like big province here, southern of these two provinces, and eventually take all of them. This here, this. Take all of this province. And they encircle their old capital, wanting to, take it back. Rightfully so. And seeing this, blue team's like, this is bad. But it gets worse as Israel and Kokistan join. Israel joins and just takes the Sinai Peninsula and, takes, and they take up to these, provinces. Makes the borders look a bit better. And basically, Crimea is going to start being taken by Kokistan before they have to resign from the war. And all progress is lost. As I'm actually going to make this a deeper colour to represent what's been taken. We see that the Ottomans just take their capital, so they resign from the war. And so down here I'm just going to change the colour. So all these provinces are going to be a darker colour. This is going to be a darker colour. So we see that all of that is coloured in. That's roughly what it was, I think. That's what the provinces will look like. But, yeah. Now we're going to see that Crimea, now back under their own control, is actually just going to, rebel. They've been under control for a while, and they liked it when they had their freedom. So they're going to start to rebel from the Ottomans. But then also, Kokistan is in shambles as their capital is still seized. And despite resigning from the war, the blue team basically makes them cough up these provinces under their control as well. So they're in shambles right now. So Crimea takes this opportunity to not only rebel from Ottomans, but also, rebel from Kokistan, who have also, wronged them in the past. And they kind of get up to here before all sides agree on a peace treaty, which basically includes them just getting their independence, as long as it's only that. And Kokistan's basically doesn't like this. They could have defended it, but they lost a lot of military. They're kind of trying to recover right now, and a lot of people around here kind of want to be part of this thing. So they just let it get its independence. As for Ottomans, they just couldn't be bothered to fight off another civil war group, so they were just whatever, fine. And, eventually, Israel is basically bribed by the Ottoman Empire to switch sides. So after taking these two, they were actually, told to switch side and actually aid their help. So the Ottomans start trying to like get back the original capital city of like Egypt, but it is eventually seized over. But then these guys get encircled. Bad. But they also convince Israel to also send in defences to work alongside. And eventually, all of these rebels from Egypt are pushed back, which is when the true invasion begins, with the help of Israel, as the capital is quickly taken. But they're not just going to stop at this. These guys want, like, the Egyptian team to suffer for turning against them while being a puppet state. They've gone against the king. This is treason. So they take these provinces, go down some more. You know, it is very, like, hard for them, though, since they're along the, like, Sahara. But eventually, Egypt just surrenders over, and they finally accept it. Except for the help, Blue Team does agree to give Israel this bit of land, which, but anyway. And the Egyptian rebels are still fighting in their old capital, but eventually it is taken over. And now they continue fighting back against these guys. They continue fighting. I don't want to draw the lines. But basically, the final, like, borders end up looking like that. But then, basically, they only look like that because of a peace treaty where they could do that. But in return, the Ottomans would get back Sicily and Malta. And after this, they were mad at Italy enough to where they invaded Italy again. And Italy was very annoyed at this, but, you know, it is what it is. And I would, colour in these borders and stuff, but all I really need to do is do the Egyptian one, because I've already settled the other borders. And I'm just going to add, like, a few, capital cities, ideologies, and yeah, that's basically it. So, let's go right into it, and I'll see you once I've done that. Alright, so if we look at these borders, I'll go through these changes one by one. So, Crimea got their independence, and if we turn this on, their capital is right there, and their ideology is monarchy. I think it's two people they came from are both monarchies. Red Team continues to be a puppet, except their capital is completely surrounded, and they're not allowed to have an army. Basically, so, they're allowed to build an army if, the Blue Team gets into a war. They're allowed to have an army there, but they can't have, an offensive army, basically. They see one offensive troop. They've got, troops all along this border, which will instantly just invade the Red Team. So, yeah, this becomes these two, the Ottoman Empire officially gets 2 new major cities. Yeah. Yeah, nothing really changed over here. And, yeah, also Ottoman Empire got that. And this rebel group got their freedom, and they are a publicist monarch in the followers of Iberia. Don't know if I've already said that. Just take a look at the map yourself. If there's anything I've missed out, feel free to share it. I mean, it's probably going to watch this anyway. And if we go on to the stability map, we see that Ottoman Empire has now the Ottoman Empire has officially become yellow instead of red, as seeing as 2 new rebel groups broke away, They're not as bad. I filled in Nordia, filled in this, all these, whatever, but they don't matter. Egypt is now red. A lot of people kind of want to break away. Egypt is on, the verge of collapse. because of what just happened. You know, whatever. They're green, you know, yeah. Whatever. I think that's all I wanted to cover. I mean, Kokistan is now, like, it's still only a few, like, it's still, like, this colour. Except now there's stood, like, more people who want to overthrow just because they're kind of mad at what just happened. But, yeah, that's it, I guess, really. Like, subscribe, bell, if you enjoyed. Whatever. Goodbye to you.